It's not been somewhere I've had great success over the years, but I love coming to Belfast. It's sort of one of those funny balancing acts where, I love coming here, but I keep losing on the table. So listen, I'm thrilled to get through and get to spend a few more days here.
Well, a lot of time's passed since the Crucible. Now, in terms of the competitive action, just the Championship League and a best of 5 at the British Open, is it possible to keep that momentum and go into the season? Because it was quite a transformative event for you, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, to be honest, I think that the gap has just been too long. And so I think any momentum I had the chance of carrying into this season has gone. I think had we have been, in non-COVID times where the season, you had 6 weeks off and rolled into some Far East events and some earlier events in Europe, maybe I might have been able to carry that on. But, that's my first victory in a proper match, as I'm going to use the word proper, in a proper match since the semi-finals of the World Championships back in April. So it's just too big a gap. And it's a shame. I would have loved to have carried that on into this season, but as I say, the gap in the calendar was just too big.
How do you feel then, maybe at the sort of start of the road to building back towards that form then?
Listen, I was absolutely thrilled with my run at the World Championships, but it came out of nowhere for me, and I think everyone else. I had a terrible season. Much was made of the difficulties of living on this island and travelling to England, playing all the tournaments there. That was very difficult. And so the run in the World Championships came from nowhere. It surprised me. But I think, you just go again, don't you? You just rebuild. And even if I'd won the world title, I would have spent the summer looking to improve, analysing the game, and I've done exactly the same. So, as I say, I'm here, I'm trying my best, and we'll see what happens.
And yeah, I know one of the sort of many difficulties with COVID last season was, of course, the lack of being able to perform in front of a crowd, something I know you really enjoy doing. We saw how much you engaged with them at the Crucible. How good was it to be back in front of a crowd today and hopefully for the rest of the season?
Great. As an 8-year-old boy, part of the dream of becoming a pro snooker player was to walk out and play in front of crowds. When I visited my first few events as a ticket holder as an 8, 9, 10-year-old boy, that was part of it. Performing was a part of it. It is one of the vital ingredients of being able to win, is to be able to perform. And if you take that out, and whatever little X factor that brings to your performance, you end up struggling like I did last year. So if there's 1 or 100 or 1,000 people there, it's nice to see people again. The world feels like we're getting back to some kind of normality, and long may it continue.
Alan Taylor, up next, what sort of test are you expecting from him?
Stern, good friend of mine off the table. I was thrilled for him when he got back on the tour. He spent the year as the MC for these events, a job which I know he loved. He's a real entertainer. He's known for his impressions. He's sort of like a modern day John Virgo. He doesn't quite have the same beard as JV yet. His beard game's not quite as strong. But he is very entertaining. A good friend of mine, as I say, off the bays, and a very dangerous player. So I've got my work cut out again.
What do you think of his Murphy?
His Murphy was excellent, almost as good as mine.